Welcome back, everyone. We will be looking at chapter number 13. But what I have to say is that it is not necessarily a content chapter. It is more of helping you understand the exam. That's it. So we will be looking at it briefly. I believe that you should definitely take a good look at the whole chapter. First things first, your exam format. So as you know, with the 2022 update, the marks breakdown has slightly changed. It's not a significant impact. Things are still the same. Just that there's more room for you to get marks, for more room for you to pass. In fact, section A, as you know, 50 marks, out of which it used to be 46 for technical, 4 for professional, but now it's 40 for technical, 40 marks for technical understanding and knowledge, and 10 marks for professional skills. Section B, we will look at what professional skills are. Section B, you have two compulsory questions. So, two of them, 25 each. So, 2 into 25 is 50. That's your total marks. 25 per question. But the breakdown is for each question. The 25 is broken down where 20 marks is technical and 5 marks is professional. This was not part of the exam before. What this has done, though, what I can guarantee to you is that it has made the exam easier because you have less of the technical approach. So you and but it does also add some stress because you really have to improve on your professional skills. So what are these professional skills? There are 4 professional skills in your optional exams: communication, analysis and evaluation, skepticism and judgment, which has been added, and commercial acumen. Now, we will briefly touch on each of the skills, but a few things. Overall, what you can understand is that in section A, in the 50 mark compulsory question, all 4 of these are going to be tested. All 4 of these are going to be tested: communication, analysis, evaluation, skepticism, and with judgment and commercial acumen. However, one of the things that you can understand is that communication is only going to be tested and only going to be rewarded in section A. Communication is not tested in section B. In fact, why it is so is because in section A you have to write your exam in a report format. It's very specific. You have to present it in a report format, which means that the different requirements, you have to organize it in certain way. You have to cater to the because the section A question is actually, it's a reflection of what your senior, what you are expected to provide to senior leadership. So that cannot be, vague. That cannot be poorly presented. So communication, presentation, do you remember chapter number 5 or 6, performance reporting? So everything we learned there, in terms of what a good report is, that is where, or this is where you have to use it. So it's not that somebody is going to ask in the APM paper what are the qualities of a good report. Not really. What they're going to be asking is present a report to us, a 50 mark question. Present a report to us, and these are the areas that we need addressed. And within that, there could be one question where you have to evaluate a performance dashboard or performance report to see whether a performance report given in an appendix is good or bad. So that's further application of that knowledge. So, as I said, quick summary: out of the section A question will test all 4. Communication will only be tested in section A, the 50 mark compulsory question, and the other 3 will be tested in section B questions as well. But the question will specify. The question will specifically say these are the skills we are testing in this question. So that makes things a little easier also. But my advice is not to worry too much about it. It's not something that you should get. What you know from my other videos, you know that your focus is answering the question. As long as a student is capable of answering the question, for which you have to understand the question in the first place correctly, as long as you accurately understand and judge what the examiner wants from you, apply it, give them that response, you are safe. Um, okay, so in addition to that, let's take a look at. So this is that aspect. Okay, so a little bit of more specificity is in section B. One of the section B questions will include technical marks mainly from syllabus section D, mainly from syllabus section D. So if we talk about syllabus section D, performance evaluation, right? Performance evaluation, that's content from chapters 11, 3, 9, 4. Yes, 3, 4. So, different forms of management, performance management, 9 and 11. That is value based management, and non financial profit, or rather overall, right? This is balance scorecard, performance pyramid, and the building block model, those aspects. And chapter number 4, organizational structures. So chapter number 9 is in fact the context of controllability, responsibility accounting. So you're looking at organizational structures, divisional performance management, responsibility accounting, cost center, profit center, investment center. You're looking at total performance, the overall view of performance measurement and management. That's building block, performance pyramid, balanced scorecard, and some of the newer management philosophies like activity based management and value based management. Those are the aspects that you're looking at here. So that is one of the section B questions. That is an area that you need to heavily focus on. The other question will include technical marks. You never know. It could be from any of the other syllabus areas, basically any of the other chapters, or could be from many. Okay. So with respect to the professional skills, for section B, as I said, two of these three will be tested for each question, and which two will be always provided. Actually, what you can note is that analysis and evaluation is going to be in every question. It's going to be part of section A, and it's going to be in both the section B questions. So what you will see alternating in your section B is either both could be skepticism and analysis, or both could be commercial acumen and analysis, or one could be skepticism and analysis with the other being commercial acumen and analysis. On that note, we are going to quickly look at each of the four skills. Communication is essentially your ability to inform, persuade, clarify, and simplify, right? So, you in combination, how good are you in informing your audience, in persuading your audience, in terms of advising, in terms of recommending, clarifying things, and simplifying things, making things easier to understand? That's communication. So make sure that you take a look or read all of this. The second is analysis and evaluation. As I said, this is the most important skill, because it is going to be tested across the entire board of questions, entire paper. This is your skills related to investigation of relevant information, analyzing. Mostly in section A, you get numbers, you get performance dashboards, you get different appendices. Considering information, evidence, and findings, assessing a situation, assessing circumstances and scenarios, applying appropriate judgment, and appraising the information objectively with a view of balancing the cost risk. So, taking a balanced approach in order to appraise a situation, like what you appraise is essentially measuring the worth of, measuring the value of, right? How valuable it is. So project appraisal is essentially appraising whether the project is worthwhile undertaking or not. So in your exam, your appraisal skills may be used within the context of a situation where they might want you to appraise a situation and recommend what to do, how to proceed, etc. So appraisal is that. Overall, in within these, when you're doing all of this, analysis and evaluation automatically happens. Now I'll give you a simple example. That is essentially your ability to look at the pros and cons of situation, right? There could be a project, there could be something, a decision that they're hoping to take. So your ability to look at that situation, analyze and decide whether it's good for the company, why would it be good, and whether it's bad for the company, why would it be bad, which one is better, which side has more weight to it, recommending something based on that. This is evaluation. Skepticism is being cautious, being smart, being, applying things in, with wisdom. In skepticism, you get to actually explore, question, challenge, and critically assess. Right? Explore different situations, explore reasons, question opinions, question other judgments, question assumptions. Especially with EVA, we get situations where the assumptions are, where you are given the opportunity to challenge the assumptions, where they might give you the EVA calculation and it's done based on incorrect assumptions. You already learned in the syllabus the three, or the three fundamental basis of the assumptions that EVA uses. So you might actually see in the question EVA being developed based on assumptions that are not relevant, right? So you might have to assess and say this is incorrect. Challenge and critically assess, literally challenge and critically assess. So that is further explained here, which you can take a look at. And finally, commercial acumen is related to demonstrating awareness, recognizing key issues, and using judgment and showing insight. So this is your ability, your intuition with regards to business, right? Your commercial acumen. How good of a business sense do you have? How well are you able to demonstrate awareness that you have about the business and about the industry sector and about performance management? How well do you recognize key issues? How fast do you recognize? This is a challenge that generally students face, because sometimes they say evaluate a situation, identify problems, and then it takes time for students to evaluate. But this is a timed paper. That's the challenge. So how well, how fast can you recognize issues? Can you, identify that these are the biggest issues, and how well can you prioritize, right? How well can you actually gauge the importance and the urgency of matters in order to prioritize? And showing insight and perception, being far sighted, being able to look at the broad term view, not having tunnel vision, having a broader perception. So these are the kind of skills that are important in a commercial acumen sense. So that is further explained here. So these sections, I would definitely recommend for you to read. General advice from the ACCA examining team, um, and time management and planning, right? So both of these, this is actually something that we do in practice. We practice this in the writing training by you looking at mocks, and you trying the mocks, trying the exams real time. We work on these areas of the discipline that you get to use. um, all right, that actually brings an end to our discussion on the professional skills. Just to summarize things, communication is involving report format and the structure which gets used in section A, your style, your language, and clarity, effectiveness of your communication, and adherence to a specific request, basically answering the question, doing what you're told. Analysis and evaluation, appropriate use of data, balanced and reasoned appraisal, balanced and reasoned assessment, problems clearly supported with examples, and comprehensive evaluation. Skepticism, challenging information, evidence, and assumptions, ability to probe into things, understand why, recognizing that data is inadequate, recognizing that information is missing or difficult to obtain, recognition that the use of information is inappropriate or that information should not be used in isolation, and recognition of limitations or challenges of a course of action. So, being able to identify gaps, identify problems, identify weaknesses, identifying, various kinds of suitability issues, limitations, all of that under skepticism and sound judgment. Commercial acumen in terms of recommendations, whether they are practical or plausible, or being able to make practical recommendations or plausible, viable recommendations, effective use of examples and other considerations, recognition of possible consequences of past and future actions, recommendations to demonstrate understanding of issues that are commercially sound, and comprehensive assessment of possible ethical consequences. All of these under commercial acumen. And that marks the end of our professional skills discussion. And we will be looking at the next chapter, chapter number 14, which is again not a content chapter, but essentially it's something that probes you or helps you to look at or promotes the CBE platform, the computer based examination platform. I'll see you in that video. Good luck and thank you.